Hey. I'm not even on the screen. Hang on. So, and I went even farther off the screen. I don't understand why this camera does that. It seems to always lose, of all the things it loses kind of that center. Like, where the heck's Rick kind of thing. So, I don't know why. I don't know why it seems to always does it after I go live. Like, so it's not, it has to be something. Ta-da! There I am. So weird. So I started to say, first off, hello and welcome. Tuesday night. It's starting to feel like another one of those weeks where we should be at like Thursday already, but it's still just Tuesday. I don't like those weeks. Usually my weeks kind of have a decent rhythm and everybody's okay. But this week has been weird. No like, do not recommend. So one of the things I started to say when I got on here is, a while ago I bought one of those plastic mats because I have carpeted flooring here. I bought one of those plastic mats that makes it easier for the chair to roll on. But because I sit in this chair so many hours a day for work and then sometimes for streaming, it's got divots in it. Like the wheels on the chair is like sinking in. So now it's all, instead of being this nice smooth surface, it's kind of like, whoop. So when I try to roll out, I have the same problem as I did when I was on carpet. I get kind of stuck. Takes a little extra Macarena power to get it over. Get it out of the little divots. I'm going to have to do something about that. I think it may be better if I just went back to the plain old carpet. Because I think these things are just getting deeper. I thought I was being a good human and protecting the carpet, but I don't think that's working. Clearly not as well as I had hoped anyway. It's probably been 2 years since I bought this thing. So, I mean, it's not bad. It was like $40 at an office supply store. So it's not like I was out there expecting, some kind of crazy, it's never going to dent, it's never going to divot, we'll never have a problem in our lives. That would just be utterly unrealistic. But anyways, here we are. This is my current complaint. This showed up today. It's like, really? It's like, how does that help me with Lego stores closed? And it's got freebies in there. It's like stuff you're supposed to get. Look, I'm gonna need right there. That Easter bunny with an Easter egg. I kind of like the sheep, but we're gonna need to get the Lego.com is still open. I don't know if they deliver now because Massachusetts, we've gone to essential only, right? So you're not supposed to leave your house. But I guess delivery services are considered an essential. Hey, Wayward Plane. Welcome. Remember when you were a kid and the Christmas catalog would show up? The far more dangerous 2020 version has shown up at my house. The Lego catalog. You ordered a book on Amazon today that's in stock and released, and the delivery date is April 22nd. Even with Prime? Or is that just in general? Someone had a good idea. Someone was like, order something that's considered essential and then add it to whatever. We got all this stuff. So so I'm looking at all this stuff. It's like, yeah, you still deliver, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't count. I'll get it in May. It's not good. The more depressing thing is how many of these things where it's like I go through this, and I don't know if any of you guys watch Big Bang Theory. There's a scene in the comic book store at one point where two characters are going through the back issues bin. And they're like, got it. I kind of feel like that as I go through here. Got it. Want it. Got it. Need it. And also, Legoland's closed. Legoland California and Florida both closed. New York is coming. July 4th, New York is coming. That's 3 hours from me. This is bad. And I have a season pass. But again, will we be able... Actually, now I'm kind of curious about that. Is Legoland New York going to open on time? They're just outside of New York City. They're not in New York City. State's on lockdown. Do the Legoland construction workers go to work? I don't know. I don't know. Fewer workers in warehouse seems to be a completely reasonable explanation for Amazon shipping delays. But they did say they were shipping out essential and in-need items first. This is pretty good. It's all about their sustainability mission and how all Lego plants, I think, by the end of the year. So basically, if it's a Lego plant shape, they're all supposed to be made out of plants, like sugarcane. Plastic's made out of some form of sugarcane or similar. Instructions plus. These are kind of cool. So here's where I get like in a lot of trouble. Is in the Star Wars section. $700. It's bigger than my table. It's like 4 feet long. What else we got? Harry Potter, sorry folks, not my bag. You're supposed to tag here for me. Right? Let's see, what do we got? Did I not tag? Wait a minute. Do I not have brick building on? Oh, I think I do. This did not show up in a plain brown wrapper, by the way. I haven't caved and got some of these things because they have like little emojis, and some of them have planets and aliens and stars and stuff. It's the real interest. I actually got this and that one. Nope. We don't talk about friends. We pretend they don't exist. No offense, just not my thing. Talking about the catalog, yeah, right. It's supposed to come in a plain brown wrapper. Disney. Let's see. Discovery Center, Ninjago, which very limited stuff that I have interest in the Ninjago space. But this is the stuff. This is the business. This is what we're going to build tonight. This series is amazing, and it's so diverse. The Hidden Side.
Diverse means
Hey,
showing a great.
This series here to help. She figures if you're watching an old guy do Lego, you might need help with some keywords, just in case. But this is seriously, this is shut up you. This is a fantastic series for pretty much anybody. If you like, haunted houses kind of stuff, this is all the new sets. This is actually an older set from last year that we're going to build tonight, but these are all the new ones. My must-have from this one is totally the lighthouse, because let's be honest, how cool is a haunted lighthouse? I don't think there's anything else shocking in here. Nah. Everything else is easy. Of course, you can still go old school. You just buy a pile of bricks. You're just not going to get them until like summer at this point. We built the ISS here. We built Friends, the treehouse. That's on my wish list. That's going to be pricey. We've built that. We don't usually build the creator sets. But we've built one of these. We built this here on stream. You want the blue airplane? The blue airplane is actually pretty cheap. It's a small creator. It's a 3-in-1. This one, it's $10. And you can also build a helicopter and a jet. There's a larger version of that from last year that's super cool. $10 for you. Oh, you saw it in Walmart? Eep. I should build some stuff like this sometime, just to have like little goofy things. Nice little lighthouse. So yeah. Oh, and if you're there we go. I'm gonna make sure I cover that. I don't care if you see where the where the various malls are near me. But this Manchester United home stadium, it's kind of nuts. There's a better shot of the free Easter thing. Spend $50, you get both of these things, and then it shows up at some point. God knows when. Need food, real food, not ice cream. Are you guys under shelter in place or essential only orders yet, Jurisfire? I thought I read somewhere your city was going to do it, not the state, but the city. I think somebody mentioned that, or I saw it. But anywho, nobody's yelling at me, so I'm guessing Mike and music have finally found a happy medium they can both live with. Went to shelter in place yesterday, a minute before midnight. Yeah, I thought I had seen somewhere. Let's see. You always gotta, because it's like the cereal. There might be a prize at the bottom of the cereal box, but not tonight. So I guess officially this is day one for Massachusetts, because we started at noon today officially, and California went last week, so work has kind of had a week to get it together, as it were. Did I miss? There they are. Decals. This is a fairly small set, all things considered. 4 bags, 5 bags. Bag 5. Fairly small. We may all get to go to sleep at a reasonable hour tonight. We'll see. I really want tomorrow to be Thursday, because I really want the garbage guy to come. It's amazing when you do all your own, cooking at home and stuff, how fast the garbage can fills up, because you're not going out. So you're actually using things in your house, which then find their way into the garbage. Hey, another. I'm going to have the world's greatest supply of brick separators here before too much longer. There. It'll be fine. Ship's mast. That's the first time I've seen this piece in that color blue. This is an old piece. They go all the way back probably 30 years or so to a completely different set. It's an automobile cockpit. See? You didn't know automobiles had cockpits. But they do. Easily my favorite fig from this whole series is the ghost dog. With his he's like a little sheet over him. I think I may have just offended our other dog over there. Alright, let's build Jack. This series also has some of the best head pieces in terms of head accessories. Instead of just a simple hat, it's a hat under the hoodie. Got his, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and get a somewhat clear shot of what he's holding. We'll see. But if you can, is actually holding... It's a ghost scanner app that's on his phone, and there's an actual little Lego minifig ghost on his phone. Not the easiest thing in the world to see, but still way cool. Welcome to the stream, everybody, if you just got here. This is what we do on Tuesdays around here, and sometimes on other days, but always on Tuesdays. We hang out, get chill, build some Lego. Usually something interesting or different. So like this is the Hidden Side Shrimp Shack with an AR app that you can get and import your set into the game. So we'll start by building their little Ghost Hunter mobile. Apparently. Anytime you decide this is a halfway decent place, you don't mind hanging around, appreciate it. You hit the follow button, get notified of the next time we come around, which there's the schedule right down there. You scroll a little bit. And I have one small piece of news. So those of you that have been around a little bit probably know that my friend Katie and I do a podcast. Did a podcast, or have had our podcast on hiatus for a pretty good while. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that being as we're both in the games industry and things are usually pretty hectic and crazy, it can be very challenging for us to sync our schedules, much less the schedules of other people in the industry to come in and hang out and talk. But all things considered right now, everybody's got a little bit of time. So starting this Friday, we're going to fire it back up. Hopefully this is the right one. I always get the... There you go. Friday push to prod. If you don't get the joke, it's an industry joke that if you push anything to production on Friday, it will go boom at 5 p.m. right as everyone from dev has left, resulting in misery and pain and evil for the planet every single time. Doesn't look like a thing to me. This, that, this. This goes there. So if you would like to listen in to some industry vets, I'm not going to say pros. Katie's a pro. I just kind of hang around. Talk about games industry and some of the challenge. Yes, it really is. It is completely industry agnostic. Those that know. You just don't do it. Not if you expect to survive the weekend anyway. There we go. I had to rethink that one. We're actually going to have Sonia Weathers on. We've had her on before. She's always full of super good information, but it's super timely now because she wrote a book about working from home. Sonia's worked from home probably for the better part of a decade, if not longer, honestly. I've worked from home for about 6 years, and Katie's worked from home probably for 4 or 5. So if you want to hear some long-time work from home folks talk about the challenges of working home, best practices, and maybe trying to help your coworkers through it, it is, to steal from Wayward Plane, kind of industry agnostic information. So it would be cool if you swung by and said, hey, we would appreciate it. It's going to be Friday at 7:30 Eastern. And we always tell stories. It's kind of a rambling thing. If you've ever wondered what game industry people are like when they're just talking amongst themselves and hanging out and, kind of letting the guard down a little bit, that's exactly what the show is. It's modeled after conversations a lot of us have very late at night at conventions. So while we have a topic, it's kind of free form and free flowing, and you hear some very interesting stories. Definitely not a, here is segment 1 of our podcast. Today we will be covering, no, it's straight up conversation and some really fun info and just generally a good laugh. And we take questions from whoever happens to be watching. And we share what we can as best we can. Stickers. Sonia's going to be on Druidsfire. Sonia Weathers will be on. We'll be talking about working from home. Because I don't know if you're aware, Sonia actually just wrote an ebook about working from home. She's been doing it for like a decade. So in light of everybody sheltering in place and working from home, and I see it in my own family. I see it in our office at Yellow Pike. Those who are not used to it, it's an adjustment and it's tough if you're not ready for it. I know I have a couple of coworkers who are absolutely positively ready to go back to the office. They're like, we're done. Don't care. Got to go back. But just we'll be talking about ways to survive it. It's strange. There are even introverts that I know who are like, I really thought this would be great, but they're having a hard time with it. Which is, to me, how you know that this isn't just a, it's going to be great. It's easy. You're just working. You're just at home. It's not that simple or straightforward for most people. The things that they miss, they don't realize they miss. Even if they claim to seriously dislike me. Sonia is good people. Sonia is exceptional people. She really is. And for anyone who has ever played a game where Sonia was your CM, I would not miss the opportunity. Just don't ask her why she banned you from Ultima Online 25 years ago, and you'll probably be fine. For a little while, we only ever did the show on Facebook Live because we started on Twitch originally, and then we moved it over to Facebook Live because Twitch really didn't have a way to do a podcast that was easy to discover. So we had 1 or 2 people from time to time. When we moved over to Facebook Live, we'd get like a half dozen. So it made the interactive part a lot more interesting. But we're going to try it back over here and just see how it goes. So that's Friday night, 7:30 Eastern US time. And we'll do that. Something to look forward to on Friday. It's not like you're going to the club. Trust me. That just ain't gonna happen. Yes, anyone that got banned by Sonia, of all people, definitely falls under the "you really deserved it" category. Like, in ways I can't begin to explain, you deserved it. You have tons of stuff. That's true. You do a lot of stuff on Friday nights, Druidspire. You got a lot going on. Of course, in the meantime, We'll be back here Thursday night. Same bat time, same bat channel, for some Lotro. Noticed a few people posting around that they're on Ithel. You should totally come hang if you are. Totally. You accidentally streamed 3 extra hours on Lotro Official last Friday because of Made Alliance? How did that work? Was there just no one scheduled after you, so it wasn't a problem, or did you end up bumping someone? You know, I gotta move this over just a little bit. Because my my Switch is like right there. My Nintendo Switch, not a light switch or power switch or anything. I realized the other day I have far too much interest in Animal Crossing for reasons I don't understand. It is kind of a slow-moving game, but I've now realized that my Switch is getting carried around the house. I was downstairs earlier watching TV, Switch was on my lap. I came up here, I plugged it into, I have the regular cradle that comes with it downstairs by the TV. I have a little portable cradle that's just the power port and a little stand. And then I have a secondary cradle that's an aftermarket one that I use when I do actually stream from my Switch. That has the HDMI out and everything. So I have 3 cradles depending on which room I'm in and what I'm doing. It's sad. Oh, the next streamer wasn't till 4 hours after your usual end? Oh, that's good. Playing to the end of current Epic Quest. It's that good, huh? Yeah, playing on a legendary, I don't really get to experience this stuff in real time, which I actually like, because like I said, it's for me it's just I just want to have a little fun. It's more about futzing around and looking at the world that I remember being, a part of helping to create. It's, it's cool. It's fun. That's why so much of the time it's like, I don't really care about all the little details and the do this, don't that. It's just, I'm farting around. Mostly stabbing things. Because I think we're at a point where having somewhere to go to stab things in the head is really kind of needed. You know what I mean? I'm just going to sit here and screw this up no matter what I do. Actually, that wasn't that bad. I need to get a couple of these. I really like this blue. I maybe should I should go to Bricklink and get a couple, because I have some other blue parts. It would be kind of neat to do a redesigned version of this and use it for other things. Not that I don't have a million vehicles for photography purposes, but I like things that take on that sort of retro vibe and feel. Brush guard. Where's my brush guard? There it is. Next streamer's 4 hours. Well, see, and even this is a little one of those. See all the open space in there? We're gonna just cover it up. Oh, here's that song again. It really just it's so much like some of the music in Final Fantasy XI that every time I hear it's like, I kind of want to go back and play that again. Let me resub for a month and we'll stream some of that. But then I wake up in the morning in a cold sweat going, no, don't do it. There's trauma there, folks, and it's deep. Oz Wheels, what's up, buddy? How you feeling? Batman's brain. How's your chest? I was in Parky Brick's stream when you were explaining it. I didn't realize that's what sent you to the hospital. Oh, son of a monkey butt. Getting better. You know, once you described it, it's like I've way back when there was far less of me and the years were counted in smaller numbers. I was taking a karate class, and in one of the demonstrations, I stupidly volunteered and caught a full, like, almost immediately over and above the heart, like right in the chest, close to the sternum where all the cartilage is. And I caught a almost full power hit right there. And I get what you described. And it doesn't feel like it ever can't come back, because every now and then certain things will make it hurt, and it's all like right up in here, right? And it's like, ugh. I'm legit afraid of these. These are all ugly. May not survive this, but we'll see. That's not terrible, but I don't know what it is. It might be eggnog. Although I seem to recall eggnog being a slightly different color. No, it probably is eggnog, because there's something cinnamony in there. English. It is a difficult language. Well, I'm glad to hear you're getting better. And I'm glad it wasn't anything more serious. Which bit? I wasn't there for the whole thing. I had to head out, do work stuff. Oh, about the beans. I thought it was funny. I don't think Parky got it, though. Which is fine. I really think that's vomit, so we'll go with this. This is sausage, and I'm not a fan. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, I knew it was directed at me. I had no question about that. But I did chuckle. I did indeed. Rock on some weaponry here. That just kind of ended. I thought something went wrong for a second. That really was kind of nasty. We know like those. And now this one, I'm legit afraid of. Is that? Here we go. Oh. Yep, that's exactly what this is. It's barf. Ugh. So bad. So bad. Wow, that's only 2 hours worth of sleep there, Ozzy. You all right? Or did you catch some sleep later in the day? That's very little to go on after the kind of night you had. I forgot to give her her cell phone. See if I can get a better shot of their phones so you can see that there's no ghosties on them. Oh, that it even has aftertaste. So bad. You just couldn't get to sleep, Ozzy? I have that happen sometimes. I'll end up going to bed. You know, I'll finish a stream and I don't feel tired. And it'll be 3 or 4 in the morning for me, and then I'll go and I'll lay in bed and can't go to sleep, so I'll surf for a while. The next thing I know, it's like 5, and I know my wife's alarm is going to go off in about an hour and a half. I've had those nights. There we go. A little attack vehicle to help free the shrimp shop. The shrimp shack. Number 2. All right. Oh, you get another hot dog dude. That's a shrimp shack, but he's eating a hot dog. What's up with that? It's 2 p.m. there. Oh. But you did better last night? I forget that you guys are like off by a day. Barrel. I've never seen an actual heart piece. Normally it's like two pieces put together. Ooh. Again, easily my favorite type of brick. Masonry profiles. They're so good. Only got one of them? Now I are sad. Got 2 hearts though. It's a brick, exactly. It's a brick. Tease the brick. Brick, buck, whatever you want to call it. You'll have an early night tonight to catch on lost sleep last night. That makes sense. No sense dragging yourself down and You end up back in the hospital with a case of exhaustion or something. That would be bad. Oh, apparently it's not a good hot dog, based on this facial expression. Bun. Hey, Grim. How are you this evening? Hello, shut-ins. With or without cause, tend to largely be a shut-in during the week anyway. So we're just talking about how coworkers and my own family are kind of a few days in already starting to crack, like amateurs. It does not look like it was a good hot dog. That is not the face of someone enjoying their food. I have such an itch right now. I'm trying not to. I almost want to sneeze. So everybody get back 6 feet just in case. Back it up. It's a brick. It's a brick that fits in with... See, I really do like them. They make fun little walls. And everything. Ta-da! That's really why I decided to do the sub wall, because then I could actually use my favorite bricks. I do keep thinking about changing it every now and then, though. Once in a while I think, what if I did something different? You're enjoying a cinnamon streusel? Is it a cinnamon toaster streusel? Because those are pretty much epic. Tonight we had leftover pot roast. It was really good. Really super good. Lurking. My music's over my voice. Now, see, I asked that earlier. All right, that should fix that. That should be better now. This. I said, is it a cinnamon toaster streusel? Like, basically a grown-up Pop-Tart. You could have said something, Druid's Fire. I think I've pretty much convinced myself to cave and just pull the mixer back out. Because audio quality was never an issue, nor was consistency an issue when I used that. It seems like this little interface thing likes to reset itself entirely too much. And it is becoming a pain. No, I mean, if you can't hear me, you can't hear me. And then all of this vast knowledge I am imparting upon people is gone to waste. Vast knowledge. Do. Oh, goodness. So I wonder what's going to happen here. And so we're on lockdown in Mass for 2 weeks till April 7th. I get a feeling that's not when it's going to end. It's a loaf, Grim, so it's something you made yourself. Michigan is now locked down. Yeah, I mean, despite certain individuals' comments today that were ill-informed and devoid of fact or truth, as they often are, this whole everything will be fine by Easter, no, it's not. I would like it to be, don't get me wrong. I'd be thrilled if it were. I just don't see it happening. Just not realistic in my humble opinion. The Catholic Church closed worldwide? Wow. That individual's comments have actually proven lethal to people? Yes, absolutely 100%. 100%. I do not feel that is an unfair statement. Doesn't say. You know, I'm kind of on the fence. I was like, so first of all, I'm not a hyper-religious person. I'm really not. I have a lot of issues with organized religion as a concept, but that's neither here nor there, because I do know people get comfort from it, and that's their thing. That's your thing, and great, as long as you're not taking it to the extreme. But I think there is also a responsibility. You can't be like, you know, you can't be the wife of the guy that owns Hobby Lobby. God told me, and therefore we're going to stay open. Nah, sorry. Now you've crossed a line. In my book, that is not even remotely reasonable to say, even a little bit. Wait, Waffle House is closed? You know, the National Weather Service actually uses Waffle House as a measurement of how bad disasters are and how quickly areas are recovering from them. Because they're usually the last thing to close and the first thing to open. They're like the ibis. The ibis in Florida are called hurricane birds because they're usually the last bird to leave and the first to return. An impending storm. It is why the University of Miami uses them as their mascot. They're closing 365 stores tomorrow. Yeah, there are thousands of them. They are everywhere. But no, not joking about the whole. There was a whole interview with the Weather Channel guys about how that's kind of one of the signals of severity and duration and recovery is they track the Waffle Houses. It's really fascinating idea. Oh, I've been robbed. There's actually a sticker. Oh, because they don't make a 6. A sticker to make this look like a brick. I'm so depressed. That's so not cool. Yeah, the Waffle House Index. Yep, that's exactly it. Hey, Del. It's crazy. The Waffle House Index. Forgotten what it was called, but that is it. Which is yet another reason why waffles are better than pancakes. You don't see them having no Pancake House Index, do you? Nope, Waffle House. the salvation of all. Waffles are life. It is true. Actually, isn't tomorrow International Waffle Day? I believe it is. I believe tomorrow is International Waffle Day. The 25th, right? You got pancake houses over there, Ozzy? There are some here. I haven't seen a ton of them, but waffle houses are everywhere. Waffle houses are like bathrooms in a sports stadium. You turn a corner and there's a Waffle House, especially in the southeastern U.S. It is tomorrow. Yay! Not that I'm getting a waffle. That's a U.S. thing. I guess really it's a Belgian thing. But even that, I'm pretty sure is a lie. I'm pretty sure it's still just a U.S. thing. The Belgians are like, why are you blaming us for that? We had nothing to do with it. You have a freezer full and a couple of boxes of Belgian batter mix? Holy smokes. It started in Sweden? Oh, good. We'll blame Sam. That's a plan. I like it. International Waffle Day started in Sweden. It's probably celebrated with a chocolate waffle. What do you bet? Finland always blames Sweden or Russia. Generally speaking, they're not wrong. I mean, historically, there's an awful lot of crap that really is Sweden or Russia's fault. Dangerous shrimpies. We'll try and get... It's almost like a mimic. With his little teeth. Someone has been hoarding the waffle batter. Don't say that too loud. AG Bar will show up at your door. Because remember, kids, it's only a free market if it's businesses screwing you. There's always 2 weeks worth of waffles in the house. I like your house, Grim. 2 weeks worth of waffle. On call or on demand. There they are. That's my kind of house. Of course, that probably means you have a gallon of maple syrup hiding somewhere, too. Or more than one. That's going to be an issue soon. Uh-oh. Going to need a maple syrup resupply? A man has barricaded himself inside a Kroger, demanding the waffle syrup be restocked. And I'm going to know exactly who it is. You started rationing yourself to a serving size? See, my problem is, to me, the best thing ever, waffles and bacon. Because maple syrup, real maple syrup on bacon is amazing. You do not want maple flavored bacon though. That's nasty. What you want is you want maple syrup on your bacon. Like just dip it. right? Like it's a potato chip and that's some salsa. Seriously. Preach is the bomb. Oh goodness. Oh, there it is. I wish this did a better job of giving the times, because it looks like I forgot to do a few in terms of marking them as complete. There's no times given on. Mark. There we go. Anyway, I'm looking at the redemptions like, wait a minute. There's too many redemptions. Nope. We do it this way. Too many. And of course, you might as well spring for the good bacon. We're talking popping for the full-on boar's head. So that should keep that from, yeah, there we go. Now it works better. Monster mouth. I love a parade. That be sturdy. I think on Friday, when we do the podcast, there's going to be drinking going on. So our very first guest ever on the podcast showed up with like a nice evening's pour of whiskey to do the podcast. So he was there sipping his whiskey on stream. We're like, you know what? That's now a thing from day one. Anybody wants to bring a drink, bring it. There you go. That looks like an Omid emote. That looks old school to me. Yep. ETs. Oh, the goodness. Of Evan Williams honey? Oh, yeah? That sounds good. I think because we were talking about it in Discord, I think I may crack open the rum chata. Either that or the Baileys. Problem is with the Baileys, I drink that crap like it's a milkshake. So it would be a very different podcast by the end of it. It would be very different. Oh, you drop it in Jungle Queens? Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a Scotch guy. Twitch has no rules about it, so I ain't worried. Oh, and we're back to the sticker brigade. I hate this because it always means trying to line up two stickers. Oh, wow, he went on personal tours of the distilleries in Scotland. That's when you know you have a passion for something that may actually be like a problem. as I sit here, I'm fully aware of who's talking and what I'm talking about. Um, and way too much money. If you can be like, I'm going on a tour of the distilleries in Scotland, it's a good problem to have. Time to take the dog out. It's National Puppy Day, by the way. Extra puppo treats. That may be the closest to good that I've ever gotten. Mind you, I'm not saying it is good. Oh. Of course, now I've said that, and they're going to give me an opportunity to blow the whole thing. That's nice of them. He wound up getting quoted on Kotaku and stuff after a certain couple of streamers where he probably should have... Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a point at which if there's an open mic around and an open bottle, the combination will eventually be bad. Open mics and open bottles do not go together. I wish I had a doggo to give puppo treats to, Ozzy. I do not. Believe me, that is one thing that makes me insanely jealous every time I watch April's stream. Is that I do not have a doggo with whom to shower puppo treats upon. Diner. David likes to rant, and he really... Yeah. There's some of that. But you know what? When you got your own studio, and it's your money, and you're not beholden to anyone, knock yourself out. Now, if you should decide to go back into the industry and now need a job, that may be a problem. But otherwise, it's your thing. Do whatever you want to do. There's starting to be entirely too much decaling going on for this one little part of the set. Entirely too much. So I think he's building it now. Or maybe he finished. I don't know. But I don't know who saw the... I dropped it in Discord. I don't know who saw the new Ideas Pirate set. I wish they would just bring that entire set back full time. That whole series. Redo them all. Have new ones. This is kind of like a modified version of the old Monster Fighter series. So if we can do this, we should totally be able to do that. The evil eye. I see you. That's old school dinery as it gets right there. A little open 24 hours. Much like Waffle House. As long as there's not a natural disaster going on. Tomorrow is Waffle Day. The only doggo I have that streams with me is this guy right here. Just him. That's all my landlord allows. That and the ghost doggo from this set. That's it. I can have a cat, But since our last cat passed, we bought a leather couch. So that probably would not be a good idea. Hey, Box. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's your Tuesday going? Staying safe? Doing the right things? Avoiding people? Because basically at this point, everyone should be treating everyone else like a walker, right? You don't know them, go the other way. Because they're probably infected. It's going slowly. I mean, it could be worse. It could be more like my world, where it's going like a bat out of hell. You have no idea where it's going. You're just kind of along for the ride. Can definitely be worse. Without a doubt. Yep. Like I tell people, it's going. I don't know where, don't know who's driving, but we're going to get there. One way or another. Whether we want to or not. Watch that one. That looked half decent. And now we got a Coke can. Or actually, I guess being yellow, that probably makes it a squirt can, right? We're going to go with squirt. Mother Nature always wins in the end. 100% of the time. Doesn't matter what the situation is, always put your money on Mother Nature. It's like I've long said, the problem with the whole climate change and global warming discussion is we keep couching it as save the planet. The planet's going to be fine. The planet will be absolutely fine because it will kill us off long before the planet is at true risk. And then with us gone, I mean, just look at the pollution maps with, this virus. With us gone, the planet's fine. Should be couched as save the people. Largely successful. Humans, yeah. Response message, yeah, totally. No doubt. Dippity-doo-dah. Oops. So I was looking through some stuff, and I think Elgato's got a new capture card coming out this week. Looks like they announced one back at CES, and it's due out this week. It's not a card, actually. It's an external capture. It's the 4K 60S Plus. Now it does true 4K at 60 frames plus HDR with true pass-through. So there's like no lag. All lag is introduced by recording and streaming software. Elgato's usually pretty good with their support. I've never really had problems with it. And I've used some of their stuff to do things I don't think they ever meant for it to do. I think one of the best tricks going right now is if for a while when people couldn't find cam links and when they were super, super expensive, with a little crafty work, if you had an HD60S internal, you could use it as a cam link. Ozzy, you might have to go for a nap today, but if I do that, I run the risk of being up all night again. That's something I'm trying to avoid at all costs. That's smart. I mean, it's kind of how I travel. Like if I have to go overseas or something, I try and not go to sleep until the equivalent of whatever the time would be in that country that I would normally go to bed. You know, kind of just force yourself to stay awake until such time as, you know, your body just says, to hell with you, dude. we're going, and we're going right now, as much as possible. I know, these are supposed to be brown, not grays. All right, Dell. Have fun lurking. Have fun lurking the darkness. Grim, you're not that tech savvy, so you rely on support. That's cool. I worked in IT, largely in network and server infrastructure and architecture for about 15 years. Some desktop in there too. So it is not a role I could ever do today because it's been so long. I mean, we're talking back Windows 2000 launch, Windows Server 2002, that kind of deal. You can wire a network, but not a TechWiz. It seems like a fair trade-off. Not everybody's a TechWiz. And if I'm being honest, not everyone's a TechWiz who says they're a TechWiz either. Trust me on this one. I just realized Pretzel Logic killed itself. But I didn't notice it because I'm still hearing piano. And then I realized Anita is downstairs playing piano. I wonder why Pretzel killed itself. Let me see. If you've never used Pretzel, when it starts up, it gives you these little inspirational notes. Mine right now is, Sapience is better than a Blizzard cutscene. This may be an exaggeration. That should be a little better. There we go. Cosmic Slum. What an interesting name. Not being musically creative, I'm always curious what the thinking was behind the names artists give to their songs. Some of them are obvious. You know, obviously if there's a lyric, it makes sense that it got this name or that name. But when they're instrumental, I always wonder, because they always seem to have far more whimsical names. The project director for a while, cool. good gig if you can get it. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Project director for cinematics at WoW. Oh, then our team probably worked with him then at some point when we've done small things. I think the last thing we did for Blizzard was actually StarCraft, though. So. I think some of them use random word generator. Yeah. It's entirely possible and would not surprise me in the least. Because otherwise, it just doesn't make it. I've never met anyone that thinks that way, so I can't imagine naming a song that abstractly. But then again, music can be a fairly abstract art, despite it being pure math. That's right, I said it. Random word kind of the same thing, right? Random word generator, ton of weed. Similar results. There's kind of a fun consistency with this set. So it's set. The whole theme is set in a town called Newbury, which I do wonder if it's borrowed from Newbury, Mass, which does have a port. But this is the Shrimp Shack restaurant, and there's a shrimp boat. There's a high school, a school bus. Obviously, the kids in the sets are the heroes in the games. There's a little graveyard, so it's all the places in the town, but there's a very cool consistency throughout. Like there's a shrimp boat that supplies the shrimp restaurant. Which also gets haunted. High school's on the big taupe board for me. It's like that's gonna need to happen. And every time I say that, and every time I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be the thing. That's the one. They come out with something else, like the new pirate set, where it's like, ah. You've done the boat and a few others. Yeah, so we've done what? We've done the bus, we've done the boat, or actually I think I did the boat on my own. We did the bus, we did the new plane from this year's series. I've done the lab, a couple others. I love the shrimp boat. That and the plane, I think, are my favorite builds so far. From the first round, I don't have either the train or the high school, and I really want both of them, so I've got to kind of figure out the logistics of that. And of course, obviously, it's like we got to have all the good stuff from this time around because some of this stuff's really great, like the lighthouse. I'm torn on the subway from the current bunch of sets for this theme. I'm torn. I think maybe because it's so clearly a pure playset. All of these in this series kind of are, but that one feels more like a pure playset, if that makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't have depth. I like the idea of, the subway can pop out and come out of the tube, but it feels more like a backlot ride at Universal. Like come see how the movie magic is done, and less like an integrated set in the series. To me, it's really the only set I have any real criticism of, other than the skeleton cannon polybag. I don't like El Fuego's stunt trucks simply because I don't like monster trucks. They're not my things, so it has nothing to do with the set. The set's actually really cool. The Mad Lab is great. I would say the Mad Lab, Shrimp Boat, and High School. I've seen and had a chance to get my hands on a fully built High School. Those three are my absolute favorites from the first wave. Then followed by probably this. Oddly, the bus I'm not a huge fan of. I love the idea that the whole lab slides out, because I like that it becomes a compact thing to store, and yet you still get all the playability of it. That's cool to me. But I don't think some of the others were as well done. Oh, these go the other way, that's why. Bjork. But the lab's a blast. It's nice, small, compact. It's got really cool features, really great minifigs, and it was cheap. It was super cheap for what you were getting in it. Do I think the school could be rebricked into a modular? I'd have to see it again, but I can't think of a reason to say no. I feel like it could. I really do. Make it a spooky house or a modular. When I first saw it, when they first announced it, I really, really hoped that it was going to be Dollhouse style, the way the Haunted Mansion was, but it's not. It's front back. It's more like the creator playsets. A stadium truck at some point, especially from Speed Champions or Technic. That'd be kind of cool. That would be at Speed Champions scale. That would be kind of cool. I don't think I have anything even approaching that. I mean, I guess technically the stunt truck from this series qualifies in that vein. Sort of. But not with that level of detail, and certainly not with licensed sponsors. That's always a challenge, though, getting license. That's always a real challenge. Because then everybody wants to make sure you do it right, and you're not screwing up somebody's IP, and one of those things. Suddenly you get a lot of cooks in that kitchen. Grim Freak is spouse. Or child. Girlfriend. Okay. I don't like to assume. But she is right. It would be very cool. We don't do marriage. All right. Like I said, everybody's got their own thing. I don't judge. I was certainly very firmly of the opinion at one point in my life that, you know what? It's a piece of paper that establishes literally nothing. About the only thing it does is, now that I've gotten older, I realize that, well, the one thing it does is if there's any sort of catastrophic illness, dealing with it, making decisions, all that stuff, that's a nightmare if you haven't done something. And usually that translates out to marriage. Not always. It's definitely something I think about more now, right? In light of a bunch of stuff going on. It's just weird. I don't know what that piece is. It's a dead shrub. It's kind of what it looks like. Looks like the stuff, some of the stuff from Stranger Things. It's a shrubbery. Small. It is and it isn't, Grim. I think as you're building it, it really feels delicate. Once it's built, it feels a lot more sturdy, especially the support trunks. But yeah, the house feels... And I wish they had kind of done the connectivity a little better with the ball joints. I think those make it feel a little less sturdy than maybe it really is. Yeah, I just have mine sitting on a shelf. I have no intentions of doing any drastic moves with that thing. Did I miss by one? I can't have missed by one because that's in the right place. Oh, because I missed by one the other way. Gotcha. It almost gave out twice when you were moving it? Wow. Yeah, I moved it from here, where I built it, out into the hall and didn't really have any issues with it, but it was definitely something where it's like, I'm moving this once, maybe twice. And then only if I have to. Has that other Stranger Things vibe to it. Very tentacly. Have a good night, Box. Stay safe. What do we got? Nice and chill tonight, you know? Although, like I said earlier, when we first started, I do feel like somehow this week is feeling like a few weeks ago, where it feels like it's moving slower than it is. Even though I know that's not the case. It's a perception. That still does feel that way a bit, to me. Yay, I love it when they... Some of my favorite printed pieces. Little lumber pieces. Bricks and wood, that's kind of... What do you like? I like the pieces with the wood printed on them, and I like the bricks that look like bricks. Lego could send me like 1 million of each, and I'd be in heaven. Wouldn't know what to do. They could send me 100 of each, and I'd still be in heaven. Gonna work up a plan to separate it and display it as 2 separate pieces. That'd be cool. So that you get 2 distinct sets, so you can kind of display what they look like. Because when you're in the upside down, you don't realize it's upside down. It's right side up for you. And the right side up is the one that's upside down. It's like space. I'm not upside down. The Earth is. Someone should... It would be interesting to me if someone bought 2 of the new pirate ships and built it out as the wrecked one and the full pre-wreck one coming to save them as a diorama with a whole bunch of blue base plates. And I'm just talking myself into spending money. But that would make for a cool playset, especially if you have some of the other pirate stuff, like the fort or one of the other pirate ships. Actually, I have the Brick Bounty, so I could do it. Yeah, I know, it's $200. But 2 of those is still only half a Millennium Falcon. See? When you put it in twisted perspective like that, it's nothing really. See? It is legit logic. I can get 2 of those for half the price of that. Find the flaw. There isn't one. I mean, it'll never fly, but there's no flaw in the logic. The coolness factor would be balanced out, yep, because then you'd have, you know, giant freaking pirate diorama. Which I think is worth as much as a giant Star Wars diorama, personally, myself. I do believe. Let's see. Yeah, I think a lot of people's dream everything's got killed by the stock market. I think you are not alone on that one. Sadly. Retirement's over. Yeah, I don't know how people are going to do it. I really don't. I mean, I legitimately don't believe he's right, but I really do hope he's right about the speed with which the market recovers once this is all said and done. I just don't see it. It can't, because who's going to buy anything? So many people have been laid off already, and we're just kind of getting into it, right? So it's like, I don't even see how that can work. With no money to make purchases, I don't see how anything is supposed to recover. It just doesn't seem realistic to me. At least not in the blink of an eye like some people are making it out to be. There was a comment about that during our governor's address today. This state's taken a lot of crap for not fully automating and putting online our unemployment system, and he made his lack of progress into a kind of victory lap today, and he was like, "See, if we'd have been online, then it all crashed." I was like, "Oh, dude, that's not a win." I mean, you're not wrong, but it's not a win. Yeah, it's the 70s again, exactly. Yeah. And I predict we'll get to have the discussion when things start heading back towards normal. Not our normal, but start heading back towards it. About why is it price gouging if people do it to each other, but in order to, get back on solid financial footing, companies who are causing prices to skyrocket or jacking their prices to the moon for certain goods, that's just free market. Please. That's not what that means. Surprisingly, a few years ago, an opportunity to get a couple of acres in Florida with just a single wide. It was an okay single wide. For what was basically the price of a used car, and we didn't. And now I'm kind of looking at my world going, missed that one. I mean, yes, Florida, insert jokes here, but still. Greed is a funny thing, no question. Like, I don't want you being greedy because then I'll have to pay for it. But when it's time for me to be greedy and you have to pay for it, that's different. They're not the same thing. Because one of them's me. On the news last night, small corner store was selling packs of toilet paper. Here's a kicker: 1 pack, $9. But if you want 2 packets, I think in that case, Ozzy, where it's $9 for 1, 2 for 100, I think that's an effort to dissuade people from stocking up and making sure that there was an option for people. You know, the average person is not going to take that deal, and therefore the next person gets a roll of toilet paper where they might not have otherwise. Now, if the only way they were selling it was 2 rolls for $100, that's an entirely different story, and those people are crappy. But it doesn't sound like that was the case. That's kind of a cool interlacing there. Using the angles of the bricks to kind of interweave, sort of interlock. Round and round we go. Maybe a little stove. I like how the color wheel's kind of under everything, and there's not really a good way to turn it. Well, I guess here with your thumb. It's just sort of a jam fit. That's not usually how those are done. Us were complaining he was trying to rip people off. What you said is right, and that's why he did it. The ones making the most noise. Yeah, they were the ones making the most noise because they wanted to be the ones with all the toilet paper. People don't share. I really believe that's not a natural thing for people to do. I think there's a lot of good people in this world that defy the human condition to be good people, but I think left to our own devices, we're not that great. I just feel like a lot of times there's a lot of screw unto others before they screw unto you, whether or not they were likely to actually screw you over or not. Brains! Yeah, I see it this time. I see it. Vader's are. I made it more obvious. I changed the pricing by 25. So now I can look and know that the jelly beans are even. And the dark chocolate's 25. I have defeated you. You kind of owed me that after the god-awful nasty vomit one. I was due. All right. And just like that, we have a cooktop. We got a couple little burners. Got a griddle. Doing well. All right, bag 4. Bag 5 really is tiny, by the way. I mean, like super, super tiny. Ah, here comes one of the ghosties. Probably both, because I think the chef turns into a ghost too, but she does. That hairpiece looks crazy. That's cool, Grim. See, that's the kind of thing I mean. I think there are people out there who make the conscious decision to sort of overwrite the lizard brain and act on a higher nature, right? She gets her hair done at a boutique. Yeah, I think so. That's crazy, though. Look at that. Oh, nice. It's a mix of... So it's transparent with an overpaint. So you get, like, that shiny, glowy at the ends, and then it's just the regular kind of plasticky. Sort of like the way the dog is. That's cool. So this is transformation. This is pre-transformation. So she gets this. These. Other one. That's the cook. This is her. And her regular hair. know, it's a shrimp shack, but we got crab. And eggs, apparently. Where's the mug? Oh. Interesting. But I just not see it. Oh, it's clear. I'm looking for red, that's why. I was looking for a red mug. It looks great under the purple LEDs. I bet it does. That one. The other one. Where's the gray one? There it is. Alright, so you get normal helpful wait staff. And then that hair is so freaking awesome. Super scary wait staff. I missed one of your message. Oh, you're gonna do beads again, but it's currently listed as out of stock. Yeah, I put limits on them now. I didn't realize that until the other night that I had the chocolate completely unrestricted, and it was like, I think after the 5th or 6th piece, I was like, okay, I'm kind of over chocolate now for a bit. People need to see more good in others. I agree. All right, I'm leaving her a scary chick because I like that. All right, then we got Cook Dude. Your basic cook, your basic short order cook, and then he transforms into Haunted Garmadon, basically. Even has a ghost machete. It's like, go ahead, complain about the service, knock yourself out. It was the bean sprouts in the salad. I know it kind of looks like it with this chess piece. That print's a little bit weird. We have a spoon. Spoon. Spoons are good with ice cream. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put thoughts in anybody's head. Just saying. Yep. 5 of these. Bean sprouts will do it to you all the time. They get all the funky stuff, the E. coli, the listeria. All the things the undead body needs. I confess, I do like bean sprouts. Got some serious zone out music going right now. It's like nap time music. Oh. Not sure I quite understand what that is, but what's done is done. Oh, I see the 2 announcements have caught up to each other again. It's just one more thing after the other. Little door. Number 6. Fresh seafood. No. It's a little menu. It's an octopus. Little octopus. You can go on, I guess, the pickup window. Let's see. There you go. When you open up, you got your takeout window. Because there will be no sit-down dining at this restaurant. Drive-through or takeaway only. Because we are good self-quarantine people. Holy smokes. Summit has 32,000 people currently watching him play Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty. I suck at Call of Duty. But I can't imagine 32,000 people watching one guy play. That's amazing. Yeah, 32.4 thousand. So 32,400. Eesh. I think he had over 40 last night. Oh, he's still going up, 30.6. You don't play games as a general rule, but that can change. Yeah, as you start looking for ways to kill time. I think that could be a very positive result. Hey, pick up a new hobby. You could get good at them murder simulators. Isn't that what we're supposed to call them now? Has anyone been watching like the late night shows and what they're doing, like Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert? Even if you don't watch them, you should just watch what they're doing. Can't master the ASWD muscle memory. I get it. I mean, I've been doing it so long that I can't. I just don't have the speed that these guys have. And I can't, and I'm sure I'm not alone, but I know it really bothers me. The whole constant jumping, that makes me nuts. Middle finger on your left hand is crooked at the tip. This finger is rolled. If you look, the top, it's not crooked. It's actually rolled. That's for a weird finger issue. Like, I think if you actually put it on a table, you see it, and then it kind of rolls when you pick it up. Ooh. Sorry to hear that. And they were able to, I mean, is it still functional? Or is it just a cosmetic tip? Or did they get it back in time that it's still largely functional and you have use and feeling? Or mostly, but as it gets older, it's leaning to the right. Feeling is there? Well, that's something. Yeah, I didn't have anything like attached, but I had a really bad shoulder injury that did damage. So it's like, I really want to learn how to play the guitar, but this finger has half the strength in it as all of these. So when I go to, hold the guitar, I can't really push with this finger. And it frustrates me immensely, by the way. Always a touch tingly, but generally it still works. That's good. I mean, it's good that they were able to reattach it and it still be functional, just, not purely cosmetic. I have a friend who lost the tip of this finger, so really between the knuckles. So I think they took it all the way back to the knuckle in a farm accident. And that was not reattached. So there was basically nothing to reattach because it kind of got crunched. Got bit by a cow. And that was the end of that. Ooh. Shattered always gives me, it's like, no thanks. guy I knew used to show off the x-ray of his kneecap after a motorcycle accident because he shattered his kneecap. And it literally looked like this. Like just in his knee. Like, whoa. Like, look at that. That's what happened on my motorcycle accident. Look at that. Eternal evidence of stupid. He was speeding in the rain. For the record. Went out on a real bike. It would need to be a trike now. You only rode dirt bikes off-road? Yeah. No, this idiot had your basic crotch rocket and drove it in a way that lived up to its name, including in the rain. He ended up paying for it. Thankfully, he didn't kill himself. He just walks with a limp pretty much forever now. One I suspect will get progressively worse over the years. Oh, it's totally a rush going fast. I'm not saying I haven't been involved in things where, in hindsight, the hell was I thinking? But at least I was wearing a helmet. I grew up in South Florida, so most of my fast and stupid was done on the water. I mean, there's a few times I can look back and go, maybe that one wasn't really a good call. I certainly got plenty banged up. But not to the point where, other than like my shoulder, and I just now starting to notice a knee that I hurt when I was like 13. It's starting to get a little crunch action going. But other than that, I managed not to disintegrate too many parts of my body. Had no police car and drove it like he stole it. See, that's fine. That's fine. I had a series of Trans Ams. Did much the same. It's like a little espresso maker. Where are my pots and pans? Pot. Okay. The pan. My problem is I discovered video games when I was about 8. Computers when I was about 12. Because prior to that, there really weren't any home computers. this. You're an arcade junkie with a pocket full of time. Yep, right there with you. The whole time. It's a 4. Consoles ruined it for you, really? No, once I got my Atari 600, I was like, heaven. It's like, I don't ever have to leave the house. Mostly I didn't. I'm just being really honest. That was the turning point in the war for me. I was like, yes. I can wake up in the middle of the night and play video games. I mean, where do I sign? Surrender unto me the consoles. We're starting to get a little shack. A little shack with our pop open windows where all the magic happens, or evil, depending on your point of view. Just wasn't your thing. Yeah. Arcade stand up and pound the buttons kind of guy. That's fair. That is definitely the one thing you don't get with a console. Chicken leg. Asteroids. Yeah. That was a big quarter eater for me. I loved it. It was like, that game got expensive quick. And honestly, I think that had a lot to do with the console stuff, because even though, I mean, I had jobs from basically the time I was 10, right? I was a paper boy, I had a paper route, so I had money. But once I was like, wait, I can go home, I can buy this one time, and then I don't have to come back and give you more money? I don't have to drop a quarter in it every other day? That was kind of my thing with it. It was like, I know how long it takes me to earn that quarter. And when you're 14-year-old, 11-year-old with a paper route, that's a lot of time. Oh, thankfully I grew up in South Florida. I never did the shovel snow thing. I mowed a few lawns. Never had to do the shovel snow thing. I don't know that I would have survived that back then. The whole idea of snow was like, yeah, we go visit family and we see snow, and then we come home where the smart people live, where they don't have that. And they can deal with the snow up there. So when I was 15, yeah, I know. Where do I live now? I live in New England where we have snow. When I was 15, the paper I worked for actually discontinued minor paper routes. So if you were under 18, they converted them all to what they called auto routes. So you had to have a car, you had to have insurance, all that crap. I didn't say I got smarter as I got older. There are many things in my world that younger me would just look at and go, have you gone mad? What are you doing? Yeah, grew up in South Florida, currently live outside of Boston, so made a wrong turn somewhere. Intelligence is subjective. To a large point. I think there are different kinds of intelligence. Myself personally. $2,000 for me. Yeah, that's why I live outside. I'm a good 45 minutes outside. The town I live in is actually surprisingly like the town I grew up in. The town I grew up in was about 35 miles outside of Miami, and I'm about 40 something outside of Boston. Demographics are very similar. Population in general, in terms of density, is very similar. It's a little bit more dense here, but not quite as, nowhere near as bad as, living in Boston. So let's do this, since this actually requires some looking at. You're smack dab in the middle of mid to late century suburbia. Well, there you go. The town I grew up in was Homestead. So it's like, it didn't really, at the time, in the 70s and 80s, it was largely military families, people who worked, good middle class jobs in Miami and commuted every day because they didn't want to deal with Miami. But generally, you knew people, I went to school more or less with the same people from elementary school through graduation. Whether you think that's good or bad is kind of a preference thing, but that was the life. It was what it was. Yeah. South Florida's gotten a lot like that. There was a point where when you would drive out of Miami and head south, it was totally that, right? It was just, you're not in town, then strip mall, strip mall, strip mall. But when I was growing up, Homestead was agricultural. You'd go out and there'd be tomato fields and potato fields, and we grew something like an obscene percentage of the special kind of potatoes that Lay's potato chips are made out of, which I never knew until Hurricane Andrew killed all the crops, and Lay's was like, oh crap. But it was, you got off the main street which led into the Keys, and there wasn't anything but houses and then farmland. You had a couple of strip malls, but there were legitimate sections of there ain't nothing here between here and there. How was Corey's class, Druid's Fire? Are we now all properly educated on all things The Lord of the Rings? Finished up our tour of Thorn's Gate and got a whole slide. Got through a whole slide. One presentation slide. That's a little scary. It's an awful lot of time for one slide. So you live in what used to be a company town, laid out by the place everyone worked. Yeah, everybody around us, like on the street I grew up on, we all had the same thing, like half-acre lots. They were all built in the late, well, not really late. Let's see. Yeah, I guess late 50s. It's when the community was sort of laid out originally. Yeah, Garden City. Lots been divided in population double. I was back home beginning of last year. I went back, saw some friends. My nephew got married. And it was largely the same. I mean, there was a lot more things, like all of the empty space is gone, but you know, I went back and looked at both my parents' houses in terms of, you know, the amount of property they have. Still there. It's the same. But I can see how something that started out basically as a Ford factory town would definitely have had some major overhauls to lot size and other things. Okay, so what's up with that? Oh, never got attached. That's what's up with that. But then the contrast, of course, is here in New England, it's rare to find a single family home. I live in a 4-unit townhouse. So we have 4 townhouses and we're all 3 floors each. So it's 4 attached, but they're individual. There's no one that lives above me. In fact, I'm on the 3rd floor. This room is the 3rd floor of ours. But with the exception of maybe about 40% of the houses on this street, everything else is 2, 3, 5 family homes or apartment buildings. And a few places down the street from me actually got renovated into, they went from single families into duplexes, so even that's kind of changing. And it's absolutely because so much stuff here is just so expensive. Property is crazy expensive here. For Indian and Pakistani grocery and clothing for the state. Oh, really? There's like a big clothing manufacturing industry there, or it's just very much that demographic now, I guess. Ouch. But hey, if you're into good curry, you lucked out. Oh, just where they open stores. Oh, the demographic doesn't match stores. Oh, that's interesting. It's like I always knew, like near us, I always knew there was a not insignificant Indian community. But when people started stocking up, I realized just how large our Indian community really was, because we have an Indian market, and the place was as much a zoo as, you know, like the Stop and Shop, right? It was like, whoa. It was genuinely surprising to me. Because, like you said, there's just... It's like the population and the businesses don't match. I can think of... Oh, no, that's not even... I can think of one very small Indian restaurant, and there are absolutely no other Indian businesses other than that one supermarket. Which, given what the population obviously is here, seems really weird. Hey, Andang, what's up? How goes your self-quarantining, work from home, people stop touching me life? Thank you, Druid's Fire. We are all having the shared experience of being alone together. Which I'm guessing is apparently a thing now. I'm with everyone. Oh, you work at a grocery store. Oh, crap. Don't touch me. I feel for you, man. I did that for a lot of years, and I cannot imagine. I used to complain about, just like holiday season, because I always got stuck with the baking aisle. And that was just an endless, simply cannot catch up 4-week process. You guys must be going through hell. Mad respect. %100. No meat since a week ago Thursday. You get it in every morning, it sells out. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yep. Milk, eggs, water, sugar, and meat too. We got a little bit of meat. I'm fortunate that my wife works for a food broker. And while they do primarily restaurants, they also do some that are strictly takeout businesses and stuff like that, which currently are still allowed to be open. So while business is down, they're still employed, at least she is, along with a few others. They did have to let some people go just because the volume dropped. But there's definitely a lot of food in this house that came from there because all of their samples they had to do something with. So we ended up with a lot of chicken. Like a lot of chicken. But you're out of summer sausage, like the Hickory Farm stuff, right? That people serve at like dinner parties and stuff. That's crazy. When that stuff starts going, wow. Planning your weekly store run to occur when they open? Yeah, that's probably smart. Oh, I don't know. Our family has a secret location in Connecticut that they always go to. It's literally some little just dinky deli kind of run out of the ground floor of somebody's house kind of deal. And that's probably the best kielbasa I've ever had. Bar none. Like, not even a talking point, right? It's just like, it is. Just accept it and move on. It's that good. That's crazy, though, that summer sausage is selling out. I think the first time I realized people were going nuts wasn't the toilet paper, and it was eggs. Like, when I walked in the grocery store, and like, most of it was still fully stocked, but all of the eggs were gone. That was a week or so ago. It was just, really? Eggs. That's the thing we're going for. That's the survival food of the 2020s. All right. There's a nice Asian supermarket about 5 miles away. Yeah, we have an Asian market, but it's not 5 miles. It's more like 45 miles. Because at that point, you just go into Chinatown. There is one now that I'm thinking about it. It's about 20 miles away. Produce, of course. That actually doesn't surprise me. Produce sales being down does not surprise me. I'm not saying it makes sense. It just doesn't surprise me. That feels like the thing where you go, yeah, I can see people thinking long term would take that off the list first. Right. Canned eggs, bread, milk, meat, TP. Oh, I know what the other thing was. So the day I discovered that all the eggs in my local store were just gone, like there was nothing. They were actually putting like milk into the case, and the milk wasn't selling. It was just the shredded cheese, not block cheese, not Kraft American cheese. Shredded cheese was blown out. It was all gone. Like, all right, so somebody's making some wicked omelets while they're in quarantine. That much is obvious. And I took it to mean that having recognized the toilet paper was sold out and likely to be short, people were trying to figure out a way to get themselves good and bound up with cheese so they wouldn't have to go and wouldn't use as much toilet paper. That was my headcanon for the day. Or a heck of a lot of quiche. Right. Really? Cleaning cloths for eyeglasses? I wonder if people think it's somehow sanitizing or sterilizing when they use them. Because it's way totally not. Or, yeah, but it's not enough. I think it's really light. I don't think it's a high enough concentration. I don't think I have one here. I used to have the little wipes, but I don't have one here. It has alcohol, but it's not high enough concentration. Oh, totally. People are desperate. They just think, well, I'll use 5 of those to disinfect my hand, and it'll work. It'll be fine. Maybe not so much. Where's that? Put that there. Or at least they think they are, and that's the thing. They've kind of created the situation they were afraid of, right? By being so nervous and paranoid and freaked out, they went and created the situation they feared would happen. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah, there's a whole lot of not thinking about other people going on out there in the world. A whole lot. Now we're going to build a shrimp. We're going to build a shrimp etouffee. Shrimp muffalata. Shrimp gumbo. This is the only shrimp in this whole thing. Got a crab. These things that. I have a Jenny in my family, and both my uncles are big Forrest Gump. Oh, really? I mean, it's a lot closer to what I would imagine an actual Bubba Gump shrimp company would look like than, you know, in Times Square or something. This looks more like down on the bayou. She married in. Oh, so, you know, could be a little Gump out there. She married in, like it's a poker game. You got to buy in or marry in. Which is it going to be? It's a serious commitment at that point. No, I'm buying it. I'm all in. Tomorrow is another day. It's hump day. It's hump day. What did we say it was? National Waffle Day. Today, or yesterday now, because it's 1 o'clock. Yesterday was National Puppy Day. Hope everybody gave their puppy a hug. How did you get married? Well, it's a funny story. There were cards involved. And potentially Bubba Gump. Now, you'd have to deadpan it like you were Forrest. How did you get married? Well, Mama always said. True, it is after midnight, so it is Waffle Day. Go forth and spread the good word that is waffle. I try not to think about the fact that it's already tomorrow. Other than the idea that, well, that means we're already burning Wednesday here. That much closer to Friday. Uh-oh, that's going to be interesting. Yay, detail work. All the little bits that we make for a fun and exciting critter build here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. The arch. So what have you been up to, Andag? You stopping in before you stream, or did you finish up the stream? Do you not stream on Tuesdays? Or are you just trying to recover from another hell day at work? All of the above is also acceptable. You actually stream in the mornings now? I would probably explain why I haven't seen you in a while. I feel mornings are less crowded. Oh, today was your Friday, so it's just chilling off sleep. Cool. In a couple of days before back. Oh man, that means you actually work the weekend in the midst of all this insanity. Ugh. That's rough. Again, been there. Do not envy you. Have all the sympathy in the world. The coffee. Your favorite aisle is the coffee aisle? Yep. Yeah, the smell. Smell is everything. Keeps you awake. My problem is I enjoy coffee too much, so working the coffee aisle would just be like, I would just constantly want somebody to brew up a pot right then and there. I have to admit, so at Winn-Dixie, if you're the grocery manager, the baking aisle is your aisle because of the holiday stuff. And you're responsible for keeping it stocked and all that crap. So that the store manager didn't have to. And I got to admit, 99% of the time, it's just casual, right? Because baked goods don't blow out that much. It's just those 2 holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving especially, where you just order flour by the pallet. Because even if you don't use it at Thanksgiving, you will at Christmas. But there was never anything where it's like, God, that makes me so hungry. I want some of that right now. That was the big upside. You never had to sit there and smell really awesome things because none of it smelled like it does when you bake it. I mean, a box of cake batter is just dried product. You're just rolling flour pallets out to the... Yeah, Thanksgiving we used to do that. We would tear down the full end caps, like actually remove all the shelves to bare floor and drop a pallet at the end. Just be like, here, have at it. Bunch of heathens. Go to town. Because let's be honest, and I bet you'll agree with this, don't get in the way of them old ladies. They will take you out with those carts. And they will tell you their eyesight is bad and they didn't see you there. But trust me, that was a targeted hit. Just reading that made my night. And 2 old ladies get in a fight over TP. God. Yep. Nah, no kidding. Don't get in their way. They want what they want. Take your life in your hands. Life in your hands. There's an open package of TP, but his last one. The first day when shortages started happening, I found like the last 24 pack of like the good paper towel, right? Like the good toilet paper, the quilted, the multiply, the Cadillac for your butt kind of TP, right? Now every time we go, it's just like the store brand sandpaper stuff. And there was this poor woman. The store clerk brought it out, dropped the pallet, and went to the back for something, and it was just sitting loose on the top, so I grabbed it. And she maybe was 4 feet tall, in her 70s. She just kind of looked at me and goes, "Oh, that's my brand." So I handed it to her. I was like, "Here, take it. I'll use the other stuff." She's like, No, I couldn't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And she really wouldn't. I put it in her cart and she took it out. So I was like, all right. But I imagine now there would be blood. And it was a fully sealed package too. Got the good stuff. So be honest, man. You've got a stash in the back for the loyal regular customers, right? When you see them in the store, you're just like, "Yo, dude, you want the good stuff? I got the hookup." It was a nice story, Del. She was so nice. She was just so nice, but seriously, I bet today that would end differently. And I'd probably be a bit more insistent as well. Saw a video where they rolled out a pallet and the clerk kept a distance. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's like dropping raw meat into the piranha tank at this point. Yeah, I think I saw that on the news. It was like a Costco or something. The people just swarmed it, devoured it, and there's nothing but the pallet left afterwards. Right, I'm going to take this off because it's all going to spill when I tip it. But there's our shrimp shack. Oops. With the hidden monster. There's a monster under the floor. And our... You do save TP in the back for... Yeah. That makes sense. I would imagine that would be a matter of policy, because otherwise... they're literally shit out of luck. So we'll take this. We'll put that there. Put him. Lucked out, found a 24 pack of Quilted Northern. He was going to take 2 12s. The station clerk was like, grab the 24, as it's 1 per person. That was nice of him to step in. Make the point. I sometimes have these really random thoughts about if such and such were still a thing at this point. Can you imagine if Beavis and Butthead were still on the air right now? I think the TP from my bunghole joke was over the top before. I have a very different vibe to it now. Great. Lego now has me hiding heads under the floorboards. It's the apocalypse. They won't fit. I need a new place to hide my heads here. I guess I could put them out in the back with the garbage. There we go. Yeah, the old Carson TV joke. Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times pop up in different places. Yep. Oh no, where's my dog? There's my dog. Is there a scared face? No, there's a happy face. I don't want a happy face. Pull these up. There. I've really been digging, I was saying it earlier, I've really been digging how the late night hosts have kind of been handling everything. And just doing, they've basically been doing like really extended Instagram live videos. It's the reality of what they've been reduced to. And it's funny how many hosts that I've seen that are like, you know, they do their best to do their own hair and makeup, but it's obvious not the hair and makeup team doing it anymore. Put my little ghost yapper there. Let's see if I can get the phone to play nice. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Still my favorite part of all these. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Being the app. So you can actually go in. I've shown this off a couple of times. So what did I just build? D-Haunt. So we just built the shrimp shack. I have built my set. Start. So the first thing it'll do is it'll build the set, all the proper outlines. And for some reason, it's doing it from the back. Well, I guess that makes sense because that's where all the interactive features are. So we flip it around. Let's see. So now it's kind of added in, like it's on the boardwalk now. It's all in AR. Let's see what I can show. It's a little harder to show on this than it is on the iPad. But there's, you know, and then the actual sets under there. There's a boardwalk, and a pier. It's kind of tough. I still have to figure out so you can change color. Oh, that's how that's supposed to work, huh? Yeah, well, it doesn't. Got it. So if you go there, you tap, so it'll change out based on what's going on. Ghosts will spawn all over it. It's a little hard to see on this. You've been selling no Easter candy? I was thinking about that today. It's like, how much of this is actually going to sell? Who's really even thinking about Easter right now? I've been going nuts on Peeps, man. You don't see it because I hide it away from you all, but I got this like 5 peep a day habit. And yes, I know Peeps have absolutely no redeeming qualities other than they are a marshmallow covered in sugar, which is exactly their redeeming quality in my book. It's their only redeeming quality. They're just a pile of sugar. And now they have chocolate dipped Peeps, which that's just rehab waiting to happen at that point. But that finishes up our shrimp shack, which I have to say now is better than I thought it was going to be. There's a really nice shot of it. I had questions. Yeah, see, so one of the things with the hidden side sets is they all kind of do this. Things turn into monsters. So like the shrimp can come alive and he's got monster teeth on this side and normal teeth on that side. These guys turn into ghosts. All the goodnesses. That's a good quality. If you wanted more Peeps and only had one. That's true. They swell up when they're microwaved? That I didn't know. I did not know that. So basically Peeps are like ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them. It is. It's a really cute set. We got them in like their little zapper cars and stuff. And then like this opens up and it has monster teeth. The high school set I was talking about, it like when you rotate it, it's all monster one side and then just like normal, what you would expect from a suburban high school kind of thing. It's nicely done. And the train turns into like, it's got wings and teeth and eyes, and it's really kind of neat. It's that one's on my wish list to get. I got this, and there's a shrimp boat that goes with it. So much fun. I may throw that actually on a blue base plate. That seems to be a hard word for me tonight. Kind of make a little diorama with the shrimp boat out front. Just for something to do tomorrow while I tinker at work. I tend to, so like my keyboard's a hand span over here, and that's the monitor I usually work on. So it's just a question of sliding the chair from one part of the desk to the other. You're getting a base plate for the boat, for the shrimp boat? Yeah. I've got a bunch of the blue ones. When they came back, I was like, give me all of them. I bought a ton of sand and I bought a ton of blue because people were closing out the sand ones for like $3 each. I was like, we're buying all of those every time I see them. So I've probably got 25 sand base plates and close to the same blue. The 32 by 32s. And I've already started slowly buying the white ones so that I'll have stuff for wintry scenes come that time of year. It'll be good. Let's see who's out in the world doing things. I see April B is on. Oh, she's building her pink apocalypse birthmark. Oh. She's converting the whole thing to pink. I saw her talking about this earlier. Oh. We're totally raiding. We're totally raiding her. Also because I want to see how she's doing and if she's gone completely mad yet. It was nice chatting with you too, Grim. Glad you came by and hung out. Thanks to everybody for coming by. Appreciate it. Everybody stay safe tomorrow. Don't go stir crazy and run out and give hugs to all your grocery workers. Thank them from a safe distance, and Dang will appreciate it. So second new rule. So first new rule is no licking door handles. And second new rule is no licking grocery clerks. Because these are things that would be bad. All right, see everybody on Thursday night. I may do something tomorrow night. I wouldn't hold your breath. It just looks like I got an open day. But that's so subject to change with what I do that I have no idea. But I may pop in. And of course, don't forget, and I'll put it up here again. Friday is the return of Friday Push to Prod. Push. Give that a follow. It's a live recording of a podcast with some game industry people. All three of us will be community managers, and we'll be talking about challenges of work from home. So if you're someone who's kind of wondering about that, and we never stay on topic, so I'm sure there'll be all sorts of crazy game industry stories happening as well. So let's go raid April. And we will see what she's up to. Thanks again, everybody. Stay safe. Have a good evening. See ya.